We're on day 3 of my little video we're doing here. And I apologize, I'm running a few minutes behind this morning. I just dumped an entire cup of coffee all over my living room floor coming back into the house. So that set me back a couple minutes. I haven't read my readings yet this morning. I haven't done my card yet this morning. I woke up and being quite honest, I haven't been in the best place today. So I reached out to some supports and I went out and got active and talked to someone that I trust and I love very much. And, I feel a little better about everything right now. But being quite honest, I didn't want to get on here. I didn't want to do this today. I didn't want to do these readings today. But I'm pushing through that. And this helps me. This helps me stay sober. This helps me stay connected. This helps me stay out of that dark place in my mind that I always talk about. So yeah, I'm going to get started with picking one of these because I feel like I need to today, especially. Even though I didn't do it this morning like I normally would have, I'm still going to get back into that routine and get it done and share it with you. So just bear with me for a moment while I pick this card to get this started off properly. That's what just came out, discovery. Ugh. All right. So the first thing that pops in my head when I think about that, or when I read that, is discovering me and who I am. A lot of things that I am struggling right now with are related to sitting with myself during this time and realizing what I want, what I don't want, what I'm okay with and what I'm not okay with as far as me, my recovery, my relationships, my physical health, my mental health. So yeah, I think it's pretty ironic that popped up as the card today, especially on a whim. As you guys just witnessed, I spent maybe 30 seconds actually thinking about it. I'd been shuffling them for probably a minute and a half, 2 minutes prior to getting on the video. But yeah, I only spent like 30 seconds actually thinking about it, putting those vibes through my body, and that's what comes up, so that's my higher power right there. I need to really focus on discovering who I am as a person and what I want. I really struggle with that. And throughout the course of my entire life, I've never done that. I've never sat with myself. I have never actually spent the time to figure out what I want or who I am. I have always adhered to what was around me, whether it was friends, a job, socially acceptable things, stuff like that. I will very quickly become whatever I need to become to fit into whatever situation is around me. And it's really hard for me to admit that. It's hard for me to admit that to myself, let alone on here with all of you watching me. So I think you're experiencing something with me here in this moment. It's kind of, I've acknowledged it and I've talked about it. But I don't think that I've honestly said it out loud to other people outside of, 1 or 2 that are in my really close support network. So I'm not sure if lately I've been doing that as well, in every area of my life. I may or may not be doing that in my current situations in life. I don't know, but that's where that discovery comes in, and I need to really focus on that and put that first, put myself first, put my recovery first, my mental health and my well-being, because lately I've really went to a dark place, but I keep pushing through and I keep doing these things, and I hope that it works. All right, so we'll start with the first one, which if you've watched before, you know that it is not that one. It's not that one. It's God in God's Care. So I'll read that for you guys, and we'll go from there. Conversion for me was not a Damascus Road experience. I slowly moved into an intellectual acceptance of what my intuition had always known. Intuition is an inner knowledge too easily discounted in our culture. We may also seldom trust our inner wisdom because we've doubted ourselves for so long. The things our intuition tells us are not made up by us. Our intuition arises from the deep well of knowledge that comes from God. Through our intuition, God may share with us at a particular moment the best course to take or just what we need to say. And we can be certain we'll not be led astray when we put aside our will and trust only God's. God offers us the information and guidance we need when we rest our mind and allow the messages to come from within. Suddenly, as if by magic, we'll know what to do. I will trust my intuition as another source of God's guidance today. The first thing that pops into my mind when I read that is those gut feelings that we get. That either that butterfly feeling or that like nauseous feeling that we get sometimes as humans. And I say that that's my intuition, Probably about a year ago, one of my friends told me that if I am sitting in a meeting and I get this like butterfly feeling in my stomach, that's probably God working through me, telling me that I need to share something. And I can relate that to every aspect of my life. There's a lot of things that I do that sometimes I get these gut feelings. I get those butterflies, or I get that nauseous feeling, or I get that anxiety going on, and I ignore it. I ignore that most of the time. I will push through because I think I know what's right. And that's something that we can connect to yesterday's discussion that we had. I think that I know that this is the right path that I'm on. But what I'm realizing slowly and continue to learn is that is my higher power working through me. I need to listen to those intuition, those gut instincts, those things that tell me that something's not right here. No matter what it is, no matter what it is. It might be anxiety, it might be wrong, it might be right. We get those feelings too of elation and acceptance and inner peace, and listening to those feelings and recognizing those feelings are pertinent to our growth and our well-being. I know for me, 9 times out of 10, when I ignore that intuition, it blows up in my face, and I have a really bad habit of continuing to do those things. I'll continue to do it until I am beaten and broken to the point of no return, and like I've said before, that looks a lot different for me sometimes. It might be me going back out, which thank God hasn't happened. But it very much so ends in that mental instability, where I hate myself. I'm comparing myself to others. I am forcing situations that maybe aren't meant to be forced at this moment. So yeah, when I think about that intuition, those are the things that I think about, and I really hope to start to pay attention to those a little bit more and trust in those. It's really hard for me to trust in anything outside of myself, and I've said this before on my Facebook. I've said that this on these videos is like, I really have a hard time believing that I don't know what's right at the moment, so pushing through that and trusting this other feeling that's coming from somewhere that is not me is really hard for me to do. But I'm hoping that, talking about it and reading things like this and coming into connection with those things, that I can move forward in a way that I try to recognize those more, and I try to actually listen to them and make decisions based on those feelings. Those are things that we can't control. Those are things that come into us for a reason. I truly believe that there are reasons for those things. Yeah, it's kind of ironic, and I love that I haven't read these yet today. Every other video that I've done, I've read these prior to coming into this live video, and I love that I haven't read them. You guys are getting the raw version of this. I haven't had time to process it. I haven't had time to sit back and think about what I'm going to say. And that's one thing that I can promise to all of you, is that no matter what, even if I do read it beforehand, I'm going to give you the real version of what that looks like. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and tell you I'm great. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and tell you, something that I learned somewhere. I'm going to tell you what I think about it, and it might come out weird. It might be awkward. I might have moments that I'm stammering and I don't know what to say. I might have days like today where I really don't want to, but I will be honest about it. That's all I can say. But I'm really happy that I didn't read these prior to this video, and I might continue to do that. I don't know. We'll see. What do you guys think? John said, love this message. This is what I get when running. Absolutely. That's what I get from working out too. You know, I worked out this morning for the first time in a very long time, and I'm really glad that I did. I got to listen to my body, and I got to connect, and I got to, you know, just get away from all of this that goes on in here that I talk about all the time, all those things that happen between my ears that, you know, are my kryptonite. They are the things that will bring me down at the end of the day. All right, so I'm going to read the next reading, which is out of Jesus Calling. March 20th. Thank me for the glorious gift of my spirit. This is like priming the pump of a well. As you bring me the sacrifice of thanksgiving, regardless of your feelings, my spirit is able to work more freely within you. This produces more thankfulness and more freedom until you are overflowing with gratitude. I shower blessings on you daily, but sometimes you don't perceive them. When your mind is stuck on a negative focus, you see neither me nor my gifts. In faith, thank me for whatever is preoccupying your mind. This will clear the blockage so that you can find me. I actually was talking about this topic with a sponsee of mine last night, and you know, the ability to be grateful for the struggles that we're going through is not easy. It's not easy. I can be thankful and grateful when everything is going the way that I think that it should be going in my life at that time. Everything's good. The job's good. The relationship's good. The cat's good. You know, everything's good. I can very quickly be like, thank you, you know, and express my gratitude and be happy. But when everything goes to shit, you know, like what's going on in the world today, or my emotions aren't right, or that relationship doesn't work out, or the cat's sick and now I have to figure out how to pay that bill. Or, you know, I lose an income and I don't know what to do. I have a really hard time finding the silver lining in that most of the time. What I think about reading that today, as of right now in this moment, I've had this overwhelming sense of peace and gratitude over the past 7-8 days, however long it's been since I've been out of work and locked down. And I don't necessarily know where that came from. Like, it's not from me is what I'm saying. It's definitely from something outside of myself. I have found definitely a silver lining in all of this. And, you know, that doesn't mean that everything's, you know, rainbows and sunshine, because it's not. I just expressed that to you this morning. I'm not feeling the greatest. But what that means for me is that even through all of this, even through the emotions that I'm feeling, the fact that I want to shut down, I want to isolate, which means not getting on videos, not going to meetings, not meeting my friends, not working out. I want to do all of that. You know, I'm finding a peace and a gratitude in the fact that I am able to push through that today, and find those things to be grateful for. You know, I'm grateful that I've spent time with my cat over the past week. You know, he's home a lot on his own when I'm working, probably 11, 12 hours a day. And I had a lot of guilt for that for a while. But, you know, we've built this weird bond over the past week, me and him. He may make me want to kill him sometimes, you know, and he might want to kill me sometimes, but we have definitely built a bond. I've built bonds in relationships with people that I see every single day, people in my support network that I work with or I do step work with, you know, and over this past week, we've had different levels of conversation, a deeper connection. I found silver lining in the fact that I don't have to be you know, in all these places at all these specific times. I have the ability to do whatever it is that I feel like doing at that moment, you know, and I also, as reluctant as I am to say this or acknowledge it, you know, I've found a silver lining in being with me. You know, I really struggle with that. And for some reason, I do have a sense of peace with it today. So, you know, relating to those situations and realizing that there are things to be thankful for and things to thank God for, in this time of struggle and tribulation and, all of that. Like John was talking about running earlier, like be grateful, that we can go for those runs and not have to worry about, well, I have a meeting at 10 o'clock or I have to be at work at 2 or whatever the case might be. We don't have those restrictions right now. It's most certainly going to get to a point where we might have those restrictions, but we can still kind of work our schedule around what's going on right now, which I think is phenomenal. And taking the time to work within myself. I think that's my biggest one. My number one on the list of things that I'm grateful for is sitting with me. I'm really uncomfortable and I really don't like it. And I'm really, I go through ebbs and flows where I'm miserable and I hate everything and I want to say F it all. But somehow, some way, through God and my supports, I'm finding, the strength to push through all of it and continue to do what I need to do for me and hopefully learn and grow through this. One of the biggest things that I've learned in my recovery is that, I want everything to be well and good most of the time. I do. But there's a big but with this. I find the most growth, change, and in long-term happiness in those times of struggle and uncomfortability. I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't went through all the things that I've went through. Prison, relationships, whatever it looks like, different jobs, different personalities, relapsing, all of the things that I've done over the past 16 months have really made me who I am today. And again, it's not great. I'm not sitting here telling you that it's phenomenal. It's not. I'm human. We're all human. But it's through all of this that we change and we grow, and we connect. Anyways. Okay. So the last one, my favorite one. March 20th, you will always be tempted and tested to take the easy way out. Our values are always going to be tested. We will always be tempted to take the easy way out, lie, cheat, and steal, because sometimes those things seem easier. But I promise you that they have a way of catching up to you. I can't tell you how important it is to check yourself before you do something you regret. Don't succumb to pressure, and don't let anyone influence your decisions or actions. Goal for today. If you have a friend or colleague who lies, cheats, or steals, it's important to let them know that their values do not line up with yours, and when their bad habits start affecting you. Oof, that's heavy. That's really heavy. For me, the easy way out looks like going with what's comfortable. It might not be lying, cheating, or stealing today. I do pride myself in the fact that I'm as honest as I can be, on a daily basis, and I don't have to cheat or steal today. But I will more often than not stay in what's comfortable than making the necessary changes to grow and learn, Oh, Jesus. I think that we all do that, whether it's, again, a job or bills that we pay or relationships that we're in, friendships. And like she talks about at the end there, the goal, like people in our lives that may not be the healthiest for whatever decisions they're making or how they may impact you on a daily basis. I think that a lot of us get into the habit of staying in what's comfortable. I know that for me, and whoever's listening to this, sorry, but for me, I've spent 30 years in relationships, and most of the time, I've stayed in them, because they're comfortable and they're easy. And one of the biggest things that I'm going through today, again, to reiterate, is sitting with myself. So I'm really trying to not do that. I'm really trying to not stay in what's comfortable. I've gotten out of the habit of, as far as like work goes, family, I can set boundaries in all those places. That's easy for me to do. But when it comes to my emotional being, my vulnerable side, the intimate side of me, like it's really hard for me to set those boundaries, and do what's best for me at the end of the day, and potentially what's best for the other human as well. Am I causing more harm in this by staying in what's comfortable? And that's something I've really had to ask myself every day for a long time now, and talk to people about. And really what it comes down to for me is like, who do I want to be today? Who do I want to be? Do I want to be that person that causes harm to anyone in my job, in my relationships, any of that? Because it's easy for me, Shit. And I don't. The answer is no. Like, I don't. I don't want to be that person, So what that looks like today is making those decisions and doing what's uncomfortable. I just saw all these comments. Holy crow. I didn't see all of them. Sorry, guys. Lisa, thank you for being so genuine and transparent. It provides a light for everyone else to do the same. It's not intentional. I will say it's not intentional. If you know me, you know I hate crying and you know I hate being vulnerable, but apparently this is what was supposed to happen today. Chelsea, I hear keeping the gratitude even if we don't feel it. Do it anyways. Absolutely. I don't feel it, I don't sometimes, but at the same time, I know that gratitude is one of the things that keeps me going every day, and keeps me on the right path. So I do it. I don't. Chelsea said nightly gratitude list help me start small, do it for a month, and it will grow. Keep the commitment every single night or morning. I don't necessarily do it like that. For me, it looks like just kind of snippets throughout the day, like, okay, I'm grateful for that, and embracing things that make me really uncomfortable. Like, I'm grateful for this right now, even though I'm extremely uncomfortable and I would rather just shut my computer. Chelsea, what are your top 3 things you're grateful for today? You guys, working out, physical activity, and the fact that I have support. I'm not in this alone, even though at moments I feel like I am. So right now in this moment, that's what I'm grateful for. John, the Apostle Paul wrote on this so much, being grateful for all things because they benefit us in ways we can't yet perceive. Thank you so much for this, Keirstan. You rock, showing up even when you don't want to. You're helping so many by doing so. Thank you, John. I love that we connect on that spiritual level, on the Christian level. There's a lot in the Bible about this kind of stuff, about not seeing the end result or not knowing the reason behind a lot of things. And that's one of the things also that keeps me going, is like knowing that there's an ultimate plan to this. And I might never know what the answer is, and that's one of the things that God tells us in the Bible and the apostles wrote about, is we may never see what the reason was. But there was a reason for it. There is a divine order working in your life. And again, whatever you name that, for me, it's God. Other people, it's the universe. But whatever it is, Lisa, side note, I love your shirt. I guess I could say I'm grateful I know people like you with great taste. Thank you. This was a thrift shop buy, but I love it too. It also shows I'm like a John. It shows my biceps. All right. Lisa, sending all the gratitude and love to you in this moment, using our strength in other areas of change, small wins and boundary setting, pave the way for bigger milestones. I feel you on that one. It's hard to set boundaries when it comes to my intimate side. So true. Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate like every single one of you, my ROCovery family here, who's jumping in and commenting and giving me things to, respond to and talk about, because man, I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't want it to happen, but it happened for a reason. And I know that it's going to be okay. I know that I'll make it through this. And like one of the main reasons why I know I'll make it through this is because of all these comments that you all can see. I'm not alone, I'm not, and none of us are. The reason that we're on here doing what we're doing every day is because we need to connect with you guys, and by doing that, we're showing you us, who we are. Chelsea has her segment, Lisa has hers, John has his, and we each do our own that holds dear to our hearts, to show us, or show you guys that side of us, and show you that we're here for you no matter what, and show you that we're in this together. We may be behind a screen at this point, but we're not alone. I know that in my phone at this moment, I can pick this up and there's at least 100 people in there that will talk to me, and there's at least 10 in there. I know of 10 at a minimum that love me, aren't just there for me on a recovery level, but absolutely love me. And I love them, but yeah. Okay. Well, that was fun. Remember the YANA acronym. You are never alone. Yes, YANA decided to remind us that YANA stands for you are never alone. And that was who came to my aid this morning. I texted YANA this morning and I said, I don't know what I want to do. I just know that I need to be with someone I trust. And she was here. She bought me coffee, which I spilled all over the floor. And then showed up at my door 20 minutes later, and that's what matters right now. There was no like why or like what's going on with you. It was just, what do you need? Okay, I'm there. And that's how we operate as ROCovery. That's how we operate for each other, but it's also how we operate for the community. Like, we will be there. We'll be there. Oh, okay. One of the things I thought about, I have a couple minutes left on this, so I figured why not? I'll just throw it out there. And one of the things that I was talking to a friend of mine this morning about was comparing myself to others. And I do that. However, I realize that I only do that stuff when I'm already not okay. So if I'm already going through something that is emotionally setting me off, I then find myself comparing myself to other people, judging myself, judging others, and getting like really upset, and it's like this wormhole that I can't get out of sometimes. And that's what was happening to me this morning. I was in a black hole and I didn't get out of bed in time for a meeting that I really wanted to be at, but I couldn't pick myself up to get there. And it's right here. Just to reiterate that, like, I couldn't roll over and open the computer, but either way, I wasn't okay. I was in that black hole and it was going to a very dark place. But what I did, the action that I took on my part that made all the difference, was I picked up my phone, I picked up my phone. And that's where we come in, our supports are there for us, but at the same time, like, we have to let them know what's going on with us for them to be there for us. I can't just be like, yes, I'm fine, everything's great, I just want to go on a walk today. Do you think Yana, for example, this morning would have had the same reaction? No, probably not. We would have got together and we would have went for a walk, but it wouldn't have been something where she was like, okay, I'm coming, and it took a few simple words, just saying, I just need someone I trust. That's it. And we know what that means. We're in this together. We go through the same program together. We go through the same struggles together. But I have to do my part, which just looks like this. This is my part. It's not hard. It's not hard to do, and we all can do it. So again, before I cut out here, I we'll say, please, let us know if there's anything that we can do for you. Let us know, if there's anything that you want to see from us, anything that you guys need to do in the community, or whatever the case might be within the limits of the restrictions that we're under right now. Like, we will meet you wherever we can. Reach out to me or any other of the ROCovery staff that are on this website, and we will talk to you. We'll pick up the phone, we'll message you, whatever you need. And thank you all for being a part of this with me and sharing it with me. It helps me more than you know, even if it makes me uncomfortable. So thank you. And thank you to my ROCovery family for being the team players and showing up and showing out with all your nonsense on these comments. I love every single one of you. And I've shared it before that ROCovery Fitness has changed my life more than I could ever dreamed. So thank you. All right, I'm out. Till tomorrow, guys.